Welcome back, everybody. We are going to take a look at this potential DG clown clutch here. They just all shed out. I sent out their sheds today to shedtesting.com to test them all for het pied. So the pairing was red stripe, yellow belly, leopard, triple het, DG clown pied to Pastel, Enchi, DG clown. So I know everything is either DG or clown or het DG or het clown because the mom's a double visual, but obviously we have to test for pied. So we got, this is part of that whole sausage fest going on. These three are the males and this is the female here. So we'll take a look at them in a second. And then I have my red-tailed boa scarlet's shed drying here, as you can see. I mean, this is probably close to 5 feet off the ground, and that's wrapped around it, and both ends of it are hitting the floor, so she's getting big very fast. Now with this clutch, you guys tell me whether or not you think the Pastel clown male is DG or not. I'm really on the fence about it. I think it's a Pastel red stripe clown. On the fence about it being DG. I am actually going to have him tested for DG to see if it's a visual or a het, just so I can, 100% guarantee. I can tell the second male's DG, I can tell the second male's not, and I can tell the third or the female's nothing. But I'm on the fence about keeping her if she's a triple het or not. I only have a small handful. I only have one female in the collection that's a triple. It's a pied double het DG clown. So she might be worth keeping because I don't have any other ones, but it's such a low-end animal that I could almost bet you that it would be more efficient for me to go look for a triple het that's a little older if I was even going to think about keeping her. So I don't know about that. But hopefully the shed testing makes some of these pied so that it makes it a little easier for me to keep one of them. But let's start taking a look here. Now, she's a nice little Enchi. I'm on the fence about whether or not she's red stripe or not. There's some of that coloration change in there. It doesn't look like a plain Enchi all the way to me, but it could be influence from the hets. I don't know. So whether or not she's a het pied is going to determine whether or not I keep her. There's probably no chance of me keeping her if she's not a het pied. And I will probably think about it a little harder if she does end up being het pied. But she's a pretty snake. She actually, three of these snakes, so these all shed yesterday or this morning, and the only one I haven't fed is this male here because he shed last. The other three ate immediately, so I'm really happy about that. It kind of worked out pretty well. Next up is this male here, Enchi clown. I think probably Enchi leopard clown. Het desert ghost, pos het pied, really pretty snake. I really like how this one looks. I actually don't have any Enchi clown males, so we'll have to see how this clutch goes because it's going to determine, if this guy's not DG and if he's not het pied, if he's just a DG clown, let's say, there's no point in me keeping him because those two males from that prior clutch have a bunch of more genes in them, including they don't have Pastel. So he would not be worth keeping to me if he's not het pied. If he is het pied and he is visual DG, then he's an absolute keeper because he's a double visual het. But if he's not, if he's only, clown het DG or DG clown, then one of these two males is going to be in the running to be a keeper as a holdback because he makes it a little easier for me to make triples. As you can see, the one on the left is the DG. Probably the better looking snake of the two. Yeah. So we have the Enchi leopard clown het DG here. This is obviously a Pastel Enchi, possibly red stripe. DG, het clown, pos het pied. So, I mean, one of these is going to prove out to be het pied if my odds. I mean, half this clutch should be het pied. With three of these being male, hopefully one of them proves out to be het pied. Because either way, it's going to be a little easier for me to hit those animals rather than, using my dad, who's a triple het. So one of these is an upgrade, especially if this is a double visual. So let me know what you guys think, if you think this is a visual. DG or not. I'm so on the fence about it. I don't know. I think it's almost too bright, too creamy for it to not be. But the biggest thing here is, one of these being het pied. Hopefully this is it. Hopefully this is a pastel red stripe DG clown het pied. I don't even care if it's red stripe. If it's just a pastel, great too. But if it's a DG clown het pied, it's an automatic keeper. It makes my life so much easier with creating more snakes in the future, in the triples, even getting towards quads, because if it's a DG clown het pied, I could take it to a lightning pied het clown, and I'm making double visual clown pieds that are double het MJ Xanthic DG. That's a very, very easy way to get in the quads when you're making a double visual double het. I mean, it makes it so much easier than trying to hit a quad het or a single visual triple het. So, a double visual het male would be huge for future projects. Now, this is obviously my favorite snake here. I was really hoping this was a girl because it's absolutely stunning. It would have been a huge upgrade to my DG Clown project. Even if it isn't het pied, it would have been huge because it's a beautiful snake, a beautiful desert ghost, and it would have been het clown. It is het clown, but even if it wasn't het pied, it wouldn't have been a big deal because it's so pretty. But alas, it turned out to be a male. So, I mean, 2 of these males, if not all of them, are being released. If there's only one het pied out of these 3, I'm keeping that het pied because gives my chances. I'm going from a triple het to a visual double het, and it makes my chances of making a triple a little easier, unless I make something better next season. If there are multiple that are het pied, then I'm obviously keeping the one with the most genes. And if this is a double visual het pied, then he's the obvious keeper. So, they're really pretty snakes. I love how this clutch turned out for a small 4-egg clutch. I wish it was a little bigger. I'm on the fence about the female too, but these males are just beautiful. I mean, they're just a very, very nice collection of males, a nice variety. Enchi seemed to be pretty prominent in this clutch. I mean, we got 3 snakes that had Enchi. So when you're talking about odds, which I guess is a good video to talk about it in, when you use a calculator on Morph Market, it's extremely helpful because it breaks down what your percentage chances are of making any snake. But you don't, it's not like you have, when it says 1 out of 256 chance of you making that specific snake. That's true, that specific snake, but it doesn't mean your odds are that hard to hit, like a double visual. Because if you just take, a double het to a double het, what is it, 1 out of 8 chance of you making that double het or double visual? So it's not like it's a 1 in 256 to make a double visual out of that. It's just that when you have, like in this clutch, there were 5 codoms, it would have been 1 out of 256 for me to hit that specific snake with like those 2 extra pastel red stripe DG clown or something. So, you kind of have to take it gene by gene and say, okay, well, so we have pastel Enchi, red stripe, yellow belly, leopard. Okay. So, Enchi should be in half the clutch, but it ended up being in 75% of the clutch. Leopard should be in half the clutch, but actually I only think it hit this one here, this Enchi clown. Pastel should be in half the clutch, and we actually hit half the clutch. It was just these 2. Red stripe should be in half the clutch. I'm not 100% positive what it's in. I think it's possibly in these 2, so maybe we hit half there. Yellow belly, I'm on the fence about. Maybe it could be in this one right here, but I don't know if I really see it anywhere else. Visual desert ghost should have been in half the clutch, and hopefully we did hit half, because then we would have it, this male on the left would be double visual, and this one would be a visual. Clown should be in half the clutch, and we did hit that. These 2 are visual clowns. Now, so where the odds may or may not didn't play out is that we hit this one here, which is neither a desert ghost or a clown. And so my 50-50 odds of hitting DGs and hitting clowns didn't happen unless this male doubled up and he did take the second DG and the second clown gene, or in terms of odds. So, and then as far as het pied goes, half of these babies should have het pied. So, yes, for you to hit a DG clown het pied that's pastel red stripe, yellow belly leopard, Enchi would have been 1 out of 256 or something crazy like that. But you have to remember that, let's just say, I hit 2 clowns here, 2 DGs here. Let's just say, for example, these are both DG, and let's say these are both clown. So I had a DG clown, a DG, and a clown. And obviously this one's a het clown, this one's het DG. I already hit these genes. These genes are already confirmed. I know what they are. Now, I don't have a 1 in 256 chance of hitting pied. That's not what that means anymore. Now, since I know what these genes these guys have, I now have a 50% chance of any of these snakes being pied. So, it's like once you confirm the first half of those genetics, it's not like it's still a 1 out of 256 long shot to hit het pied in any of those snakes. Now that I already have a DG clown and a DG and a clown, every single one of those snakes has a 50% chance of being het pied. So technically, out of this whole entire clutch at this point, 2 of these snakes should be het pied. So, it's a gamble, I guess, if you want to look at it like that. But hopefully they're all het pied. It'd be better for me because that means the snakes are a little more valuable. Hopefully, if there is a het pied, it's one of the males, so that's an easier holdback for me and not just the female. If this female ends up being het pied and none of the males, those are probably the worst odds possible. So those are obviously all things you need to keep into consideration when you are breeding and when you are making things, which is why I always say that the more visual recessives you can have, the better, because you're not guaranteed. I had almost a non-existent chance of me hitting double visual DG clowns with that last clutch because the male was only hets and the female was only clown het DG, and I hit 2, which was just insane odds. And they're eating like pigs right now. I'll show you an update on them. They just both ate this morning again. So they've already had 3 meals. So my odds of hitting these 2 males, especially with them having multiple codoms, was like pretty slim. So the fact that I actually hit them was insane. Crappy odds. But I got lucky with that, and I will fully admit that. Moving forward, obviously keeping one of those males for next year will make it a lot easier for me to make DG clowns, and that's what you always want to do. Just building up, building better. So I'm waiting for the full panels on those 2. I think RGI told me those should be running this, like he said, first week of October. So I'm hoping that's this week, because whichever one isn't the one I'm keeping will be ready to sell. So if you are interested in that snake, let me know. It will be available to ship as soon as I get that full panel test back. So I'm really interested at seeing what comes out of that and which one has the better genes. And considering they can test for all the codoms in there minus vanilla, it'll give me a good idea of what we're looking at. So that's all the DG clown stuff that we have for right now, because the rest of the females don't look like they're doing a whole lot. But we have DG pieds coming hopefully next week. So hopefully we get some good odds there. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.